I only had a fight with Aruf that would call me up, take him off, he's my friend, he gives me...
Right.
What he gives to you, that's yours. I don't want to hear about it. We have so many children that took their lives because they were molested.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You leave your child to the mikveh, there's so many people who are ready to grab them.
Yeah.
So be very careful.
Now these Rabbunim never sat down with you to hear your side of the story?
I wanted to tell them. They didn't want to listen. It's already 14, 15 years. I don't
Yeah.
have a shul where to daven yet.
What message do you have for the victims who suffered and they're afraid to come out, or who already came out and they want to move on with their life? Okay, today we have an unusual guest who paid a heavy price for doing the right thing.
I'm still paying. I don't
Still
have
paying a
I don't
price.
have a minion where to daven.
Right, still paying a price. His name is Rabbi Nuchem Rosenberg. He stood up alone. He was mamish alone in the world, like Echad Hoyavron. He was one person who ran around and stuck his neck out. And it was mamish Mekayim, the Lahazir Gedoyle Malaktanim. You wanted to protect the people who don't have a voice, and those were the little children, the innocent children. Welcome to the Struggle Podcast.
Thank you.
Okay, so where I want to start with you is your history, and then we'll get into this, your entire, all the work that you're doing. First of all, where were you born?
I was born here in Brooklyn.
Born
New
here in
York.
America.
In Brooklyn, New York.
In Brooklyn, New York. And where did you grow up? You grew up in Williamsburg.
Here.
Satmar Chaide.
Satmar Chaide.
So you went to Satmar
Yeshiva.
Chaide. Satmar Yeshiva. So you remember the Devriol very well?
Very well.
Very well. You were mamish from the first Talmud, not first,
Not
but
the
mamish
but,
from the beginning.
He used to give us, for the children that davened with his minion, he used to give us the bottom from his twill, and whoever got it was the one that was able to put together.
To roll it together. So your mamish remember him in the healthy, in the years that he was running the streets, not just like, you remember those days. Now, you're so passionately involved in this, and this is about child protection. Child safety,
Right.
And this took over your life. This took a big part. So how did you get involved? What was the first phone call you got that you got involved in child molestation?
New tenant comes, the story goes like this. He moved into the building where I lived in Brooklyn. He moved in downstairs. So if new tenant comes, I go over and I say, Shalom Aleichem, Smachste, and I want to tell you something that I'm a neighbor here, and anytime you need something, please come up and I'll share with you. So I told him, I don't have $1 million to share with you, but if you need a little sugar in the coffee or something like that, come in, and we'll be very, good neighbors. So one day, it was summer, and he knocks on my door. Hello? Yes, who is it? So I opened the door for him, and I said, yes, what is it that you want? He says, I have something to discuss with you. I couldn't talk to you until now. I have something to talk to you. I said, talk to me. To me, anybody can talk anything. So he tells me that he was a Yusam. His father died. His mother remarried with the stepfather, and he didn't care too much. And the Rebbe threw an eye on him, and he says, you have a schwache Kopf, you don't understand good the Talmud. I will teach you privately without taking money from your parents. So who can get a better deal than that? So he used to come to the Rebbe one time, again, every day of the week. And instead of teaching him Gemara Toises, he taught him sex. Yeah. So it's a shame. So, it came to a point where he felt that his life was worthless. That's what they all feel. And he went out and he bought a gun Friday afternoon. No, not Friday afternoon. He bought a gun one afternoon. And he took a car. He used to drive trucks. He was a trucker, and he took it, and he went down to Long Island someplace. He pulled over in a parking lot, and he shot himself with a pistol in the head. And he left a note. The note consisted of 3 things. I'm taking my life because I'm one shtick tumma. The Rebbe said, Chayder, arbe tamami. they don't have what to do instead of teaching me. They know I'm a Yusum, so they pick on me. And that's one thing. The other thing is, in dem Schizal, the Rabbi Nuchem, he was already sick at that time. And the third thing is that my mother was an old lady. She suffered heart attacks and everything. She should be able to go through this. And I really feel sorry for her.
Unbelievable.
And he kissed everybody goodbye, and he blew his brains. So this is the story with this man. And then I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I didn't, I wasn't involved that molestation brings sexual abuse.
You didn't even know. I mean, who knew at that time?
Yeah, nobody knew.
So
anyway, I tried to be, to take care of everything that had to be taken care of for a nifter, and that's it.
Yeah, and you found that note?
I had a note. I gave it to the Chevra Kaddish in Satmar. I gave it to them. They should learn what kind of misery society we live in.
Unbelievable stuff. This is a sick story. This is not stuff. Now, there was also, you were in the middle of working on a famous mikveh, on a big famous mikveh, and some mother came over to you and told you a story, and then you went to the Rabbunim or to the Kehillah or to the Anhula, and there was a lot of pushback. That's where it started your whole, when you saw, the more pushback you saw that you're getting about talking about this subject, you saw that you just opened up a can of worms. That's
right.
What it was?
And every day was a new can of worms, every day.
And the pushback was even worse than the story. The story was a horror story.
Right.
But then you went and you said, you know what, let me do something about it.
Right.
And you got tremendous pushback. They told you just sit back and do nothing and let us handle it.
Right.
And you didn't buy that.
No, I didn't. I said there's nobody else to do it. Who's going to do it?
Right. So what happened is later you opened up a hotline.
Yes.
Now this hotline, if I remember correctly, was originally about mikvahs. You talked a lot about this mikvah and that mikvah and the building part of the mikvah and the importance of the mikvah.
And how the mikvahs summer have to be.
Yeah, it was like an awareness hotline that you made for mikvahs.
Exactly.
And then when you found out that just by accident some mother came over crying to you or whatever it was, you started talking about stuff on the hotline.
Right.
And that even blew up like even crazy.
It's still blowing up.
Yeah.
It's already 14, 15 years. I don't have a shul where to daven yet.
Right.
They don't let me in.
You're still
any
paying
shul.
a price because of that.
They don't let me into any shul in Williamsburg.
Right. Now, this is because they put you in chayrim, right? They put out a whole paper and newspapers.
A
couple of Rabbunim did that. Now, these Rabbunim never sat down with you to hear your side of the story?
I wanted to tell them. They didn't want to listen.
They just got together and they put together a signature.
They were interested. I'm gemeint that they're going to fight and they're going to win.
Right.
But when they saw that they're not winning, some of them started to refraining. They came back. Maybe we can talk. So I have nothing to talk to anybody.
Right. So the hotline was really your only weapon that you had. You didn't have anything else. This was your shofar.
Yeah,
that was the only thing. You had a phone number, and then you had something what to say, and you shared this with people. Now, what people don't recognize is that thousands of people were listening to this hotline at that time, but nobody did anything. People said he knows what he's talking about. He's 100% right. The awareness is important. A lot of people didn't know, and there was a big fight to explain them. But you were the one who was sitting over there and putting your neck out, and everybody was sitting behind and just having a nuah from it. I mean, they had a pleasure. Yeah, so you were mamish the carbon for Right, that's what happened. No one stood up. You didn't have one person or one roof or somebody who told you that you're doing the right thing, you're doing something.
A lot of them called me out, but they didn't want to be...
In public, they couldn't do it.
They didn't want to be publicized because they were afraid for their positions. Right, everybody has either a job or a shul or something.
Right, so what was the real reason that they hated you so much that you brought out that in them, that they were supposed to...
Because they wanted that I should not talk about all the znus that went on and that I should not say about which kehillah.
Right.
And b'mayla, everything will be smooth.
Right.
And ich habe gesagt, no, because people say he's making up stories. I want you to know where and how and what's happening.
Yeah, because what happens is there were names mentioned from Rabbunim, Kehillas, and Yechidim.
Right.
And do you think that if it wouldn't be for that, the message wouldn't get across
No,
the
it
same
would have
way?
been a joke.
It would have been a joke. People would think he's talking, and nobody would, no actions would have been taken.
Right.
You felt that this is the most important thing that you have to do. So originally you started off with talking about Yechidim, because and you know what? Quietly everybody agreed that this must take an end. I mean, this must stop. Right. And then what happened is the pushback made you shift the fight from the pedophiles to the Rabbunim. They came to a point that you were saying...
No, because they were the ones that stopped. You understand? I had no fights with the pedophile.
Right.
I only had a fight with Aruf that would call me up, take him off, he's my friend, he gives me...
Right.
What he gives to you, that's yours. I don't want to hear about it.
Right. So you got so upset with the idea that the cover-ups was going on in the community for different reasons. And you were acting alone. You were a person who was doing their own thing, and they did not. It did not go well by them.
No.
Now you went through. You went through a lot. You feel that if anything is happening,
they touch a child.
Yeah, right away.
Only 911. There's no other solution.
And you had Psak Bezen also. You had plenty of times that you came up with.
Zeynlige Rabbunim was am gesucht mit Missgein. Sie schon du Briefen gedrückt für Rabbunim, nicht nur am Megein, aber Missgein.
Yeah. And you feel that this is the reason that it's going to stop it. Because
it stopped it.
It stopped it.
You know, ich würde sagen, schon du bald ein Jahr nicht du kein Case, a serious case nicht du. Nicht du mehr. I'm like saying, jede Mikvah, you couldn't go into a Mikvah. A chazer would not go into a Mikvah. He knows he has a weakness, he goes away.
Right, so this is all your credit, because what's happening is that the mikvahs were bad. You always talk about the mikvahs, about children going with adults and going in wrong timing. And
they don't. First of all, most mikvahs today don't even let children go. You go into
they have cameras, I think, no?
Cameras is also my work.
Yeah.
But
who watches these cameras?
The police. If somebody says I was raped in the mikvah, so they take the police and they open it and they see right away.
And you wanted cameras on buses?
Bosses also, but I was the one that made the cameras in the mikvahs.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of cameras in the mikvahs.
It's all over.
So what you're saying is, by you doing what you did, as far as the hotline, as far as the names, it may sound harsh because a lot of families were affected because it was their families. But you were saying things wouldn't have got done if it wouldn't be like now. I'm a lamed. Knows,
scared to touch a child.
Literally petrified.
There was a story, somebody called me up a few weeks ago. I was in the Talmud Torah, so the child pulled up his zipper after going to the toilet, and it got stuck in the tzitza.
Yeah.
So kommt an and said, der Rebbe verrecht es mir.
Yeah.
So der Rebbe ich kenne nicht. He went to call his mother had to come down.
He wouldn't even want to go, he didn't want to go there.
What?
He didn't want to go close to that.
Yeah. That's all I need. They should say that and everything is on camera in Haider anyway, so they would have seen everything.
Yeah.
No. He says, call your mother. And your mother they had to come down. She had to open it.
So the awareness that this brought to people, is you think it's a small thing, but people are, today, they know that there's going to be a price to pay.
Ich habe 10 Chawaier Malamdam, 10. That gave up Melimdus because of this.
Who gave up Melimdus?
So
they told him, listen, it's not my thing, I'm staying away from it.
That's it. I don't want to be accused.
And you want to tell me that if someone had some kind of, whatever you want to call it, some tendency or whatever, some kind of pull towards children, which I don't understand, they took jobs in camps and in places because they're
near close to the children.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was intentionally done.
Right. So, somebody told me, somebody said, you killed my life. What happened? He says, I became a malamed because I knew I had free sex with the children.
Right.
And you stopped the whole thing, so what do I do now?
Yeah.
So he had to look for a job.
Unbelievable stuff. I mean, this is you made that evolution. You were also threatened physically emotionally. I'm not even talking about you were thrown out of shield and they.
I don't have a shield till
you don't
today.
have a shield today.
10, 15 years, I don't have where to say to the
There's
Rebbeinu
not
Shalom
one
good
person.
morning.
There's not one person that would let you. They make you uncomfortable when you come into the shul.
No, they call up the rabbi. If you let him in, we're going to burn down your place. So we got to
whatever. Yeah, wow, unbelievable. So you were threatened. You were also shot at one point. You were walking the streets in the city, and some cars, and then you were throwing bleach in your eyes.
Right.
Now, what's interesting is that this is where it's very, very interesting, is that you never made a fight about yourself, which means that you explained it on the hotline. You were saying that if I'm starting to fight with people who attack me personally, then you're taking me away from the mission.
Right.
I have a mission.
That's right.
And I have to focus on this mission.
Exactly.
So you going to jail or this guy or doing it
Makes no difference.
It makes no difference. It's not going to change anything because there's a mission, and you had that focus, and you never lost it. Where did you take this koyach from to focus and to continue to do this and see the results today? This is a tremendous koyach that you had, that you could do that. Now, what you're saying is that also parents is very important that parents should talk to the kids.
Right.
And school should talk to the kids. I think I saw, I'm not sure where, but it's getting a little bit better. I think the schools
all the schools are sending
teaching
me
kids
in curriculums, but they're teaching
they
the
teach
children.
the kids.
They have to teach them. How does a child know if you don't teach them?
Right. So you were saying that the awareness is more important than fighting with the pedophiles.
Exactly.
Let the pedophiles do whatever they want. Yeah, because if the child knows, then you're safe. If the child knows, you can't get close.
If you go close to a child in the mikvah and he starts to scream, "Chazer, get out of here!" That's all you need. You'll never see him again.
You're right. It's just that they take advantage of the children who don't know.
They're innocent and quiet.
Now, let me ask you something. What's your advice? How should parents talk to the kids? Now, it's a relationship. You have to be a certain closeness with the kids. So what's your opinion as far as parents should sit down with the kids and make a meeting about this and talk about it?
Sit down with every child's extra, nicht in einer, not a group.
Right.
Jeden Kind, das der Maß
boys and girls.
Boys and girls. Die has done private places. She has her private places. And this is not allowed to be touched by anyone, nobody. Even with the doctor, only if the parents are there.
Right.
And then they start getting the feeling that somebody's trying to get to them.
Right.
And that's how it stops.
So communication with the parents and the
kids is the
biggest thing.
Right.
Now, if the parents don't know, the parents also need an education how to talk to the kids.
So they should listen to my hotline. That's what my hotline is made for. It teaches them.
It teaches them how to do it.
How to do it.
Very, very important stuff. Now, I must tell you, after all this that you went through, physical and emotional abuse, because you were the Rava Mikvah, you were a guy coming to shul every day, a regular family in Williamsburg, and you paid a dear price for this, and your family also, and everybody around you paid the price for this. Now, I wonder, who was like your parents, or who put in this amina and this emes and this standing up? If I see that something is wrong, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say it. Who instilled that in you? That, because I remember those years, there was pushback, big time pushback. And you were standing there and saying, I'll tell you what I remember, that it was like before a Yontav or before anything else, you were talking about Shadichem. I think at that point in time, you had your son and your other kids that you were looking for Shadichem, and you were mainly talking to yourself. You were telling yourself, and you should know. It was like, besides all these things, your foundation was very solid as far as, you are not going to move me. I'm not going to break. I have a mission, and I feel I'm doing Hashem's work. I'm doing the right thing. Who do you give credit for that self-confidence that you had?
Basically, to some of the Rebbes that I had.
And you remember which ones?
Not really. In Chayder, sie gehen Rebbes aus gerät.
Also
sie gehen Pinchas Berke. Sie gehen aus gerät.
And they were just putting in a certain Tamimas saying there's a Bashefer.
Bashefer und Schkamoire.
Vergunisht.
Und nachdem ist meine Eltern, meine Tate mit meiner Mama.
Right. And your father was not a big talker, right? I think that he was like on Shabbos.
In der Heim hat Sach gerät.
Yeah.
In Schiel hat nicht gerät, in Shabbos hat nicht gerät.
But to the family he spoke. He spoke a lot. Yeah.
Sure. Sie tut 3 Schwuren für welche Beruf, dicke Schwuren.
Yeah.
Was man hat gedenkt, alles bald pay, and he gave it over to the Talmidim after the Melchuma, and man gedrückt 3 Schwuren von dem.
Wow.
Alla teure. So redet da fantastische Sekuren klein haben.
Wow. So what you're saying is that just by you growing up in Chayden, and you were absorbing the way the Malamdam used to say, metatamimas, just believe, Sidu Abba Shefer, don't be afraid, do your thing, if you stand up for what's right, and that's what took you through the Mazah. Any particular Rosh Hashiva, or any particular person who made a tremendous impact on you?
Not really.
Not really. You just did your thing. You were always learning, you were always...
More or less. He gave me a cipher of Mikvah.
Where can someone get the cipher if he wants? Yeah, it's all every Svurim
store. It's all over.
Yeah. Now, also, besides not having a shield where to go in, which is mamish, I mean, if you think about it, it's a crime that the world never saw. A person who was fighting for the kids, fighting for everybody's kids, putting their neck out there, is being the nirdif now instead of being the hero. But I want to ask you something about. They also they stripped you from your membership. You were a member in Sat. You were a member in Satmar.
They stripped me. They did everything.
Now you had to go buy a piece of
I went
plot in Etzisruel to buy.
Ich habe gekauft 2 Plätze von mir und von meinem Mann. Ich habe gemisst bezahlen. And I bezahlt for an airline ticket also for the viewing.
Because they didn't even want to have you part of this. They don't want to know about you.
No.
Mamish Azay.
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. Now let me talk about your family. Your wife and your kids and whoever knows you, whoever is close to you, all your loved ones. They were standing there for so many years behind you, and you came home every time there was a fight on the street, someone was spitting at you, or someone was yelling at you, or then another chayram and another paper and another garbage was being thrown at you, and your wife was there standing by your side and just took it quietly because she saw a side of you that you mean it and you want it. What message do you have for your wife and the kids? What should they know that you did what you did and you meant it, and as a role model, what a value you want to leave for them?
Well, my wife, she used to get phones, threatened phones, and other Sachen. But she had sich ausgelacht because she also got phones from the victims.
Uh-huh.
She got phones from parents from the victims. They did this to my child, and that's why he went OTD. Ich habe bei Securus. Ich begrüb die Gevre. Because if somebody takes their life, nobody wants to take him in. Das ist kein Dus. Das ist kein schöne teure Mitzvahs. Habe ich gemacht, was bei Securus. You wouldn't believe where. In Monsi habe ich es gemacht.
Mama.
Ja.
Where is it?
Ich habe auch gekauft, Leben wie ein Motel liegt, aber ich habe gekauft, ein Stück
a few pieces.
Nicht a few pieces, 30, 40 plus. And guess what? This goes back 3-4 years ago. How many places do you think I have now?
I can't imagine.
Can't imagine? At least the whole 30, right?
I don't know.
Not even one place. We have so many children that took their lives because they were molested.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. And you fought for them and you buried them.
Right. And my wife and the children, obviously, they used to listen to all this because the telephones are telephones.
Right.
And they saw that I'm fighting for a good cause.
Right. So what do you want to say to your wife for doing this, for standing next to you for so many years and taking the brunt of the, standing there and giving you chizik every Shabbos and every week and being there for you?
What I want to say she should be blessed. Shem's Burach. She's a special person. She always, in everything that she does, she's very special. And we should have a lot of nachas from all our children together.
Oh my. Unbelievable stuff. You were fighting politicians. I remember the name Charles Hines. I remember this name. Like
he was
I
going to
heard
go
it
to
a million-
jail because of me. He was going to go to jail.
But you took it's you went on all fronts. It was not that you were against a kehillah and you were fighting a kehillah. You were fighting everybody
that
was involved.
against, right?
Yeah, it's not like because sometimes you can say that someone is like, oh, he doesn't like the roof, he doesn't like a kehillah, I'm a snagget. But this was not it. You were fighting the world, and then you went from the Rabbunim and the community. You went to the source. You felt that the power, that Charles Hines at that time was taken over by and he was a powerful man.
Right.
He could do the craziest things.
Right.
And you went there with a sign standing in the front, and you were not afraid. Mamish, it's mind-boggling how a one-man person can do something like that because for the cause, for meaning.
And he didn't win the votes.
He didn't win the votes after, right?
Because he was a played-out man.
Right. And then somebody else came in, and everybody was laughing at that time. When you were like Charles Hines. But you know what? You didn't give up, and you always mentioned that I have the Rabbi Nuchem with me. I don't care, and I don't. It's not about a game. I don't need ratings.
Right.
I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing. We used to hear this all day and all night that you were fighting for this tremendous cause. You also used to show up in court. You used to go with the victims.
Sure.
And it's not like you were just talking.
No,
you were
used to
standing
help them.
there and helping them because they got a lot of pressure not to go and back off.
Right,
So there was once a story with money moving around, and they would they wanted to accuse you for taking money and stuff.
Right.
You had to be very sharp. One of your ideas was that you were saying that I went to the same school as you guys did.
That's what I
so
was
they
saying.
milchama,
Right.
don't teach me. I know this milchama because you knew who to deal with.
Right.
It's unbelievable stuff going back so many years. And also, what you were saying is that mothers before Yom Tov, you also used to say, "Don't go to shofar,
Yeah,
don't go
you
to
don't need
these
shofar.
all these mitzvahs and menhugam." And if the kids are
At risk,
then it's what's the
not
whole
worth
thing
it.
worth? It's not
worth it.
Alle mitzvahs in the gemeitas for the Rabbeinu Shalom. What are you doing? You're going to shofar and you're going to the kids and you're leaving the kids. Babysitting, sleepovers, all this stuff that you were mentioning was like the awareness.
in Beglauders going for Shabbosim to friends and everything.
Yeah,
I keep on
because you're
talking
going into
about
strangers' houses.
Right.
and you don't
Beglaud,
trust
not
anybody.
Yom Tov. Stammes.
Yeah.
Shabbos.
Shabbos,
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing that can happen.
Right, and what they're saying is the professionals. What they're saying is there's a lot of things that are happening from family members.
Everything is family members.
Because
90%
is
is
family members.
because nobody goes over to a friend, the child. Hey, come, I want to touch you.
So when you were saying mikvahs and all these fights that you had all these
Right,
years,
it's only
was
family.
90% was family members.
Right. The tata used to bring the child. Had zich gemaakt the head and shoulder shampoo in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the child was playing in the mikvah.
Right.
And that's no good.
That's not
And
good.
that's not Baruch Hashem. You know you can't fight today a child in the mikvah.
When a child
You
under
don't
13,
find them anymore.
No.
They don't exist. Because I teach them mothers. I have a hotline.
Right.
I keep on teaching them, when you leave your child to the mikveh, there's so many people who are ready to grab them.
Yeah.
So be very careful.
What message do you have for the victims who suffered and they're afraid to come out, or who already came out and they want to move on with their life? What words of chizuk can you give to those victims that you are so close to?
Everybody needs an extra word of chizik. Every story is different. People were lured into unwanting. Some people, they got paid. They used to give them money.
Like a bucher who wanted money, or a girl who wanted money.
Als er $100, let's go.
They tried everything.
Ze hebben schon alles getried. Is bij mij is schwer te zoeken. But the main thing that you have to teach them is they should know that you are nobody's playgirl or playboy. You can't let them do what they want. And if you have courage, scream or run. That's all.
Yeah.
By Yosef Atzadik, he ran out. And guess what? He had the coat with him.
Yeah.
So why didn't he leave the coat by her? He was so enthusiastic to get out that he took whatever he had, he took along. You have to be very careful what you're doing. In Baruch Hashem, in mikvahs today, you can hear a lot of times, Chazar, get away.
You hear it, yeah?
Ich nicht, weil
No,
ich
but I mean
kann
to say, yeah.
Menschen sagen,
Yeah,
sure, man hat
yeah.
die Mikve geschrien, jene Mikve geschrien, und man geht da so überachtant, dass ich kann sagen. And the cameras, to put in cameras in Mikve is also mine.
Yeah.
I was the one that introduced it.
Yeah.
And now ich do kein Mikvas und ich do kein cameras. Jeder sagt, bei uns nicht du, bei uns nicht du. Ich sage, das ist bei jedem du. Es ist du ein Mikve und ein cameras.
Right. What message do you have for people, for the Rabbonim or people or Askunim, call it whatever you want to call it, who hurt you and your family?
What message I have for them? Der Eibestritz bezahlen, ich kann sie nicht bezahlen.
You don't even want to.
I don't even want to get involved. Der Eibestritz ist schon bezahlen, nicht gesagt.
You have your own. You know the truth, and the truth is on your side, and you're
Right.
confident, and you're not worried. When you come up to Shemayim, what would you say to the Rabban Shalom? What did you do in this world?
Well, I did a lot of things. First of all, I did a lot of mikvahs.
Right.
I built about 200 mikvahs. The whole Eastern Europe, where everybody was afraid to go. I was the one that built mikvahs over there.
Right.
In Russia, in Ukraine, all over. And then I have, all the things that I did to mikvahs to make them more mehider and everything. So I did a lot of things in a lot of aspects.
Right. And also, you were an advocate. You helped children, innocent children. Was it the
Innocent
future from the
They
future
don't
of
go
Klal
anymore.
Yisrael?
There's 90% children don't go into the mikveh anymore.
Yeah.
Because I taught the mothers, child is a victim. That's all he's there for. Not for Kedisha, not for nothing else. He's there, he's a victim, and that's it. Take him out.
So what you're saying is for the Bucharim, they go, like the 13-year-olds.
Ich sage, soll noch nicht gehen.
Till when?
Till das chosson geht.
Right. You don't think it's important for a Bucher to...
I think it's the least important thing that a bucher should go to the mikveh.
There's a million other things before that this should be on their...
Right. First of all, met draait zich een halve shoe naked, you go without... There's no control, there's no nothing.
Right.
Shouldn't be like that.
So nicht kein Mahalach. You think that Rabbunim and the Moisdes and the people who you were fighting were just fighting because of they have a different way how to approach it, or you feel that they obanua from this?
No. They have revenue from this. This is their revenue.
Which means if they find a victim, the mikvahs brings in money. But va'adat tznius, if there is a va'adat tznius...
There is, but ich has intergebrengt.
Yeah, there was a lot of money involved in that.
Millions of dollars.
Mamish.
They used to come over, you did this and this and this, $100,000. And if the guy didn't pay, oy vavoy. And I said, he doesn't deserve $100,000. He deserves to go to jail, 10 years.
Yeah, but what did they do with this $100,000? The
Pocket money. It was collected in the tash.
Mamish. And everything went on just like that.
Yeah. And everybody was afraid to open them out.
Wow.
They threatened me. They shot me once also. They did whatever they wanted.
To close that hotline.
Yeah.
That was the purpose of it.
Right.
To close the hotline, come to us.
Right.
And you did not give up.
No.
Now, which Svurim are you into? Are you, because I used to go to Uman, and you used to know Reb Nachman Svurim, and Chabad Svurim, and Hasidic Svurim, and on one hand you're a Chiddush. I'll tell you why you're a Chiddush. I'm going to try to analyze you, because you're a very ehrliche, Hasidische, Dorach Geweig, because you were talking about the Divrei Yoel. I remember you used to talk about the Divrei Yoel. You used to talk with tears in your eyes. You were such a Talmud. You were like, Divrei Yoel was everything by you. You like he was. And then the Imre Chaim, you used to talk about the Imre Chaim, because there was a time that you learned in vision. It's also, so which Svurim are you connected to? What drives you? Which Svurim are you like, what's your thing? Where's your heart connected to?
Medrash Rabbim, alle Medrushim.
Yeah, that's your...
That's every week I learn them.
Yeah, and also you were talking about being Mavasedra.
Yeah.
There used to be times that you didn't only talk about, what was going on, of course.
But it took over.
It took over because there was so much stuff.
Stop to it.
Yeah. You are also known to be an expert in haluchas of mikveh. If I remember correctly, you had a letterhead that said Rav HaMikvuos.
Right.
And you were like, mikveh is, you got involved with the halacha part of building mikvahs for women, and also the construction part.
Exactly.
How did you get involved as a young man? I know you had a Rebbe.
At the Ikir, I had the Meyer Posen
from London. He was your Rebbe in mikvahs. But how did you get involved in mikvahs as far as, doing what, because while you were doing the mikvahs, you still had a job, right? This was not a money maker. This was something, a passion that that was very close to your heart.
Right.
But how did you get involved in it?
Because I learned Hilchos Mikvahs, and I had a feeling to it, and I used to go around checking mikvahs to see what the story is with them, and I saw that there's a lot of problems. So I decided to speak up. I wasn't going to be quiet about it. So, Baruch Hashem, I have a few people who helped me. The Helmutzer Rebbe, he was a big mimche mikvahs in the haluchas, and when I used to say something, he used to listen, and he used to make an issue out of it. And then I had the Meyer Posen, who is known to be now world's renowned mikveh builder in England, but he's all over the world. There's not so much now anymore because he's like 95 or something plus. Mm-hmm. But he used to be involved in every schwere shaila that I had. I would speak with him, I'd write to him, and we went over a lot of things.
So you're the type of guy that if you see something, so let's say you were learning Hilchos Mikvahs and you saw that this is not right and that's not right, you're the type of guy who's going to get up and do something about it. Right. It's not just you're going to go with the flow. Right. When you see something, you let other people do it. Right. You're taking action, is what you're saying.
Right.
So explain us a little bit about what goes into a construction of a nusha mikvah. I mean, bar al gaba bar, and from the roof and this, to people to understand the significance of a women's mikvah.
Okay. First of all, we have to start. The water comes from the rain.
Yes.
The rain comes from the roof. The roof comes from a building. So now we have to make sure that the roof does not have any skibbles. It does not have any place where it can hold water, it can maintain water, because then it's a keli. Even though it's a binyan, it's still considered a keli. So this is very, very hard, and especially the old roofs, they start cracking up and chipping, the tar. It's a whole story. Usually, when I come to an old mikveh, I take there's such a thing called silver paint. I buy a bucket of silver paint, and they have some that have fiber inside. So when you mix silver paint with fiber and you paint the roof with it, it becomes thick, nice and thick. And then even if there's any skibbles, it disappears because you covered it up. That's the din. The din is that if you have a skibble, so you put on a layer of cement, and it becomes okay, os by skibble. So this is a very, very hard situation. Now, in the olden times, when I started the mikvahs, I was mainly busy with country mikvahs. The country mikvahs, in my dictionary, 90% are pusel the rice.
This is upstate New York you're talking about because of
the
winter?
Because of the winter. Not only upstate New York. I used to travel in the United States, all over.
You were involved in the Monroe, in the Kiryas Yoel, Monroe mikveh also.
Yes, I was.
You were mamish the go-to guy for every mikveh that was built in the Heimische community, right?
Right. The square I was also involved.
Yeah,
I did square the mikveh also.
Right.
The plans and everything, I made them.
Right.
So
where's the problem? So if you know how to build it...
The problem is aging. It's called aging. That's the problem. I can build the best mikveh, the nicest mikveh, no chakikis, no scratches, no nothing, and all of a sudden you come back a year later, boom.
So how many years do you say you have to inspect those mikvahs?
Every time you're going to use it. Like every winter goes by, the summer comes, you have to inspect it and fix it.
So why don't people inspect it for money
I
reasons?
have mikvahs in the country which were puzzle the rice. They were zoichel. They used to leak a foot and more water, and I would hold the rabbi, and he would say, "It's okay, it's okay." That's it. So you can't go fight with them.
You were only one man.
Well, after a while, they all started listening because, I would take all the Rabbonim to help me along and whatever.
This was before email. You were sending letters and
right.
knocking on people's doors.
Right,
and you made this your mission. And while you did this, you had a business, you had a job?
A job, sure. I was an accountant.
So you did this on the side or whatever.
Right.
During the day, in the Banacht, in the morning.
Right.
Wow, amazing stuff. Now, as far as explain a little bit for people who want to understand what is the importance. What does a young couple who's just getting married, what does the mikveh do? I remember you were telling stories with people had Mesiras Nefesh. Talking about from Russia and for years they were like there's a million stories you always had. Why the significance and the importance of what mikveh is?
Well, then what the mikveh really does is it's matad and a shuma. That's what it does.
Where did mikveh start? When this whole idea of
in Chimish? Have the veruchet besura b'mayim. So the Gemara learns the veruchet besura b'mem su. That means yitovel.
Right.
It starts way back. Every time Hashem gave us something, He gave us a through a mikveh. In other words, before Kabbalah Satoira, we had to go to the mikveh. And everything, every yontav, everything went a mikveh. Chai budem latar atzma b'regel.
Where's the concept that women have to go to the mikveh after they get married?
Ganze parsha in the Torah, in parsha Sazria.
Yeah.
Eishik Sazria, v'yalda zucher, v'tamash v'ayim.
So it's a mitzvah that it says in the Torah that
she can't have intercourse. She can't touch her husband before she goes to the mikveh.
Right. How do you see today? Do people do people know? Does the callus? Do they know the halachas?
Let me tell you something. We put so much effort the past 25 years. We put so much effort into it that they should know the halachas. No moirerua today would give Chippah Kiddushin if the Kala didn't show that she went to the mikveh. Nobody. The mikveh Yidden had to call up. Yes, she did come to the mikveh. And there's tens of stories that I must...
Where is this happening? In which circle? In everywhere?
In everywhere.
So a person with Masada Kiddushin wants to see...
He has to see it either in writing or he knows the rabbi or the roof and the rabbi called him up that she went to the mikveh and she did everything like it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're not Masada Kiddushin.
Mm-hmm. Now, and this is still happening today?
Today, yeah. It's happened the whole time because otherwise, what right does the Rav have, to
be Masada Kiddushin?
There's a story that one of the mikvahs that I confronted when I had a problem in Ukraine, the rabbi, the woman said that she went to the mikvah and she brought a letter to the rabbi from the Balanit that she went to the mikvah. And the rabbi did not believe it. I don't know why. He had Richa Kodesh or something. He must have been a holy man. He didn't believe it. So he said to her, tell her to come here. I want to talk to her. So she comes to the basin and says, tell me, did this woman go to the mikveh? She says, yeah, but did I not give you a piece of paper? She says, I want to know, did she go to the mikveh? And she starts to cry. She says she didn't. She paid me 50,000 lei, which was a lot of money then, and I shouldn't have to go to the mikveh. So then the rabbi calls her and she says, if you're going to lie to me, then what do I need you for? What do I need you for? Mm-hmm. So by saying this curse, what do I need you for? She fainted and she died. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is a known story in Europe, a lot of years. So with these things, you don't play games.
As far as they're teaching the chosson, they're teaching the kala, the haluchas before, who is responsible between the couple who should know more? Because some places the wife, it's the woman's job.
Usually the woman has to know more because she
has to know.
Doesn't even know what a oisha mukim is. It doesn't know anything. But she knows. She's not naive. She's a woman.
Yeah, so she has to manage the calendar?
She has to manage the calendar. Now, managing the calendar, I used to give out calendars. I don't give it out anymore because all the mikvahs are copying. They asked me permission years that they want to copy it. I have a system that I made that you shouldn't make any mistakes. And it's now known worldwide. In every mikveh, you get it for free.
Is that what would you say about haluchas, the complicated haluchas that people don't know, like major mistakes that people may make as far as haluchas go?
The easiest mistake that they make is the simplest in counting the 5 days and the 7 days.
Yeah, so
That's where you have hundreds and hundreds of mistakes. Why?
Yeah.
Simple. Because when you count 5, the day that you see is included in the 5 days.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you make a hefsek tahara, and the next morning starts your first days of the clean days. The confusion between these is very, very, very hard.
Why the first day they start counting the
Sometimes they would use the first day as sometimes they would use the first day of the 5 unclean days,
Right.
and sometimes they would use the hefsek tahara days as a day. There's so much confusion.
Now, I remember you also were saying that as far as construction goes and what you guys did, you did mikvahs for disabled women also.
Yes.
And every community has that?
Baruch Hashem, in every community was hier gebouwd, aber geheißen, first I want to build a disabled mikvah also, because otherwise it's not worth anything. Now we have a few kind of disabled women's mikvahs. I have one mikvah that the whole mikvah goes down. Wow. I had in Israel a woman, she got in the spine, she got a bullet. So she's crippled. She can go she can go to the mikveh, she can function the house, everything, but she can't move. So we made her a mikveh, and I designed it, and it's made that the whole mikveh goes down. So all she does is she lays on a platform, and the whole mikveh goes down, and she's toibled. And then when it came out, there was such a fight over this, and I said to everybody, show me why it's not good. Show me. There was nobody that was able to show me. So at the end of the day, the Eide Chreide sot es ma'asher gewein. So this mikveh that was built, it was built in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisrael, in one of the kibbutzim, and they okayed it. And it's being used now by a lot of handicapped women. Now this handicap is handicap number 3. There's handicap number 1. A woman goes in the street, she falls down, she breaks her ankle, and she needs a cast. So you put on a cast. But if you put on a cast, if it stays there 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, how's the husband going to go? How's she going to go to the mikveh, the husband? So they put on what they call a removable.
Yeah.
And do it as it's a common thing. You go to the hospital, you get a removable cast, and you put it on. And thousands of twilas are done because they're able to remove this worldwide. Nicht nur in Amerika, but the ganze Welt. And also is mit jeder Sache. If you want to be realistic, you can find a solution. And this is a very interesting thing. So now we have a woman that she lives in one of these shtuchem. Her husband is the mankalf in a big development over there. And she got, in the Chita Shedra, she got a bullet. So she became paralyzed. She can't move. So I told them, we're going to make a mikveh. And the Rabbanut paid the whole money because he works for the Rabbanut in Eretz Yisrael, in the kibbutz. They paid the whole amount of money, what it cost to make the mikveh. And they finished it, Baruch Hashem. And how it works is that the whole platform goes down.
Amazing stuff. That you're involved in all the details and all the
every detail, because they can't do it without somebody knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because you have to know haluchadik. Is this the Gmamet? Is this the Goyrem? You have to know everything.
There's a lot of haluchas involved. Now, I want to ask you about Taharas HaMishpucha. If you can share a little bit how important this is and how what a sensitive issue this is, what this does for a family. And what happens if the husband is not on the same level as the wife? He takes it serious, but she doesn't. If she takes it serious and he doesn't, what do you have to say about that?
There's nothing that I can say. That it's just something that they should really unite themselves to be on one level, because if he wants it and she doesn't, or vice versa, so they're bringing children to the world which are not really healthy, but not physical, mental, God healthy. So it's very, very, very bad position.
You hear a lot of situations like that?
Yeah, but most of them, they straighten out. Most of them, we talk to them, they're special professional people, and they talk to the women, they talk to the men, and most of them straighten out.
Right. So that brings me to the chosson kala lessons. And I know that at one point in time when you were younger, I guess, you at one point gave chosson lessons.
Yes.
Right? Now, what was... give us a little bit of a view of how your chosson lessons went down, as far as what were the foundations that you were pushing, and
the foundations I was pushing is halucha. The rest of it, the frimme Sachen, they come with teulen sich behag mit make, weiß mit den Gematrios. I said, leave all that out, because that makes you should be a nidda der Reise, because you can't really be mit samtzum that you have no chatzitzes. Make sure one thing, your tvila has to be kosher without any chatzitzes. That's all you got to worry about. The rest, leave to Hashem.
You made it simple. Now, as far as you were only teaching haluchas, the chassanim, that's what your thing was, or you were teaching a little bit about life also, and
a little about life, but not too much.
Not too much. You were mostly concentrating on haluchas.
On haluchas, yes.
And how did that go? Was that successful?
Very successful. Not only that, there's so many. I still got a present this week or 2 weeks ago, a big siddur from somebody, and he writes in there that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known anything. I used to go in Yeshirim 30 years ago.
Wow.
And that's the reward that I have.
Yeah, and that's what makes you live. You feel like you're living.
Right.
But why did you stop that at one point?
I never stopped it. It just came to a point where the mikvahs took over, and the mikvahs are very important, and I have to be there every day in different mikvahs, and I just couldn't handle everything. I have a lot of Ingelad that I trained in, Ingelad, Rabunim.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it all myself.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Rabbi Nuchem. I don't have what to say. You left a mark on this world. There's no two ways about it. You debunked the myth that says you can't fight City Hall. You showed the world that you can fight City Hall. You can fight City Hall.
And you can win.
And you can win also.
And you can win.
This is one person who can show that.
Right.
And you know how they say in Misha Bayrach, they say, you know why?
Yeah.
Because nobody else will.
Right.
Only the Rabbeinu Shalom is going to do it.
Right.
So what I wanted to say is a brucha for you. V'yusam ha'mikal machlu. V'yirpa l'chal gifam. V'yislach l'chal avoinam. V'yishlach brucha v'atzlucha v'chal ma'asa yadayim. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate giving us your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.